Birds sing, flowers bloom, sun shines, and Kanade eats like a caveman. Everyone knows that Kanade has a bad diet. Even people that don't care for the Night Court characters or the storyline know this about her. It's probably one of her most defining character traits, other than I'm making the music. She's got a diet of mostly cup noodles and whatever Hanami and presumably Mafu you cook for her. But what if we got rid of those two? That's right, we're taking them out back and shooting them behind the shed. Kanade is gonna have to fend for herself in this wacky wild world, just like the rest of us. I'm accompanied by my Oomphy Julie here as we solve a question nobody has ever asked before. We're asking the real questions today, the questions people are too afraid to answer. How many cups of ramen noodles could Kanade realistically eat before she dies from sodium poisoning? First up, we need to spell out what sodium is and why eating too much ramen would kill Kanade. Sodium is
salt, pretty much.
Don't interrupt me. Also, that's not even true.
Sodium chloride, that's what you fucking sound like.
Fuck you! Sodium is one of the elements on the periodic table, represented with the letters Na. It is a mineral essential for optimal muscle and nerve function, and just so happens to appear in abundance in salt.
So it's salt.
No. Yes. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, how does an excess amount of sodium kill? The thing with sodium is that it causes dehydration by drawing water out of the body's cells. When this occurs, the cells shrink, displacing them from their usual location. This results in torn blood vessels and fluid buildup within the brain.
It should be noted that the World Health Organization, or WHO, suggests a limit of 2,300 milligrams a day for people ages 14 and older, which is just 1 teaspoon of salt. It's important to note that neither of us are medical experts nor mathematicians, so don't take our words as gospel, but we did do some calculations to determine how much salt Kanade could realistically eat before she fucking dies. Sodium overdoses require the consumption of 0.2 to 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. Assuming that Kanade is 100 pounds, we'll calculate that she's consuming a median amount of 0.3 grams of sodium per pound. That brings our total to 30 grams of sodium, or 1.69 tablespoons.
So what does that mean for us exactly?
It means that consuming 30 grams worth of sodium would definitely kill Kanade from sodium poisoning.
Okay. You may be thinking to yourself, what type of ramen are we going to use for this experiment? After all brands have differing nutrition values. Well, naturally, as this video is focused on Kanade's diet, it only makes sense to use the brand of ramen that Project Sekai itself collaborated with, the ramen Kanade canonically eats, the Nissan Top Ramen brand. In Petite Sekai episode 10, Mizuki and Enna pose a question to Kanade, asking about what her favorite flavor of ramen is, to which she responds with the original soy sauce flavor. So, naturally, we'll be using that flavor specifically for this investigation. Yeah, Julie, while you're here, could I ask you to take a look at the nutrition facts on the packaging there?
Oh yeah, sure.
How much sodium is in there?
1,330 milligrams.
Oh dear. With the number given by WHO earlier, of the recommended maximum sodium intake a day, 2 cups of ramen alone goes up the suggested 2,300 milligrams. Off to a great start. There are 1,000 milligrams within a gram. Simply eating 2 cups of ramen back to back is enough to put our lovable little composer 11% of the way to death. Does this math check out? I'm not a dietitian.
I think.
That's all I need. With everything stated prior in mind, it's finally time we get to solve this age-long question. Don't worry, we'll keep it simple.
There's 1,000 milligrams within 1 gram, as stated earlier. Since Kanade's lethal dosage of sodium would be approximately 30 grams, we'll be multiplying 1,000 by 30 to get 30,000, bringing the total milligram lethality to 30,000.
Dividing 30,000 by the amount of sodium intake per ramen cup as per Nissan's nutrition facts, which, if you recall, is 1,330, we get this number, but we'll be rounding it up to 22.56, which means the amount of cups of ramen Kanade could have before her untimely, tragically preventable death is 22.5. She could have 22.5 cups of ramen before she gets poisoned and dies.
Okay, so when you say poisoning, what does that mean exactly?
Oh, it's nothing much, just strong thirst, nausea, vomiting, loss of appetite, bleeding in the brain, seizures, coma, and death. So not much.
Oh, that's tragic.
Let's get some pussy tonight.
1 whiskey and 1 Coke. Why the big pause?